Hello and welcome back to ExpoHub channel. Today we will be looking at extraction and validation in the document understanding process. So till now you have understood taxonomy, what it is, digitizing the document, and classification. Classification means it is going to talk about is it an invoice, is it a receipt, is it a right, all those kind of a classification you have seen. Now we will look at extraction and validation. So let me tell you, extraction means you are extracting data from the document. Extraction, right? You have classified, you got to know it is an invoice, you got to know it is a receipt or what kind of a document it is in the classification step. Now in the extraction step, you have to extract the data. Now there are three different major categories of extractors. One is the regex based extractor, form based extractor, machine learning extractor. So let me show you in the, so if you simply type extractor, you will see there is a machine learning extractor, there is also form extractor, there is also intelligent form extractor for handwritten documents, and there is also regex based extractor. So using all these three different formats, there could be even more, but these are the major categories using which we can extract the data from that document. Okay, so let's see how to do it. So very first thing that you have to do is simply type document. Alright, now here you have something called data extraction scope that you have to use. Okay, so in the previous video I have shown you how we have declared taxonomy, then digitizing the document, and then classify the document, and it is going to show the output in the message box whether it is a receipt, invoice. Okay, hope you remember that, or else you can always watch my previous video. Now here in this example, we'll be using the data extraction scope as the next step. So this is your first step, data extraction scope. You have to drag and drop. Okay. Now you have to start declaring all the variables for document path. So this is our document path variable where we have right now, if you, the moment I'm highlighting, you can see I have selected the receipt. So the receipt is nothing but, let me show you the receipt. So this is the receipt, if you recall in my previous video. Okay, this is the receipt. So this is the document path I have given for the moment, and we are going to look at both invoice and also the receipt. Both the examples I am going to demonstrate. Okay, so now all you have to do is quickly go ahead and enter the variables. So document path for taxonomy variable, for document text, digitizing the document text. Okay, and then document object model was DOM. All the variables that you had created in the previous process. Okay, now classification results is getting stored in classification results variable, right? Here we are taking that zero index data. So I'm going to mention the same thing, classification results, and I'm going to provide the index. So the first one will have invoice or receipt or whatever it is, right? So that's why I'm mentioning in the bracket 0. Clear? Now if you are declaring this, then you don't have to mention the document type ID. Where we are showing that document type ID, you don't need to use this. So if I'm using this, you can skip this. Okay, so this process is clear. Now after extracting, where would you like to keep the data? So I have created a variable extraction result. I'm going to store the output in the extraction result. Okay, that pretty simple it is. Okay, now what you need after you declare all the variables, you have to put an extractor. So I was talking about three different extractors, right? So let me show you. So let's say the regex based extractor, if you drag and drop, if you click on configure, right? Let's say for now we are dealing with receipt. So for bill number, so how these things are coming, bill number, bill amount, these are the fields that you have declared in the taxonomy, if you recall. In the invoice, we have declared invoice number. These are the different fields that we have created. Same thing for the receipt. These are the two different fields which I have declared in the taxonomy while creating taxonomy. Okay. So this is, so here you can click on edit and you can set your regex. So there is already a playlist where I am saying how you will extract the data using regex. So all those things you can customize. You can enter your customized regex data over here. That is a separate topic entirely itself, but again if you are aware, you can use that. Now for this example, I am not going to use regex, rather I'll be using the next type of extractor called form extractor. Okay, so let me delete regex In some other video, I am going to talk about regex in detail, but right now we will just go with the form extractor. So drag and drop the form extractor to your workflow. Alright, the moment you drag and drop, automatically there is an endpoint URL which is automatically coming. So just leave it as it is. It requires an API key. Now to get the API key, it's pretty simple. Go to cloud.uipath.com, log into your orchestrator. Now once you log into cloud.uipath.com, click on admin, okay, and click on licenses, and then click on robot and services. Login, admin, licenses, and robot and services. Now you will find something called document understanding. If it is the very first time, you will have a button called generate key. So you can do that. So I have already clicked on that key. So here is my API key. So I'll copy the API key. Once you do that, copy the API key, go back to Studio, and in the Studio simply paste the API key. So put a double quote and paste it inside the double quote. Fine. So this is, you have put the API key. So using the form extractor endpoint URL, it is going to, using your key, it is going to validate, and then it's going to do the job. Alright. So you have got the form extractor. Now this form, so you might be having that question, what is this form extractor? So this is exactly a piece of software which is going to extract the data from your document. Okay, form extractor. It's built by Uipath. So I'm just using this activity. Now click on manage template. Okay, now here what you have to do, this is your third step. So till now what you have done, you have entered, you have dragged and dropped the data extraction scope, entered all the variables. Now you have dragged and dropped the form extractor. You don't have to use all the extractor at the same time. You can use it, you even can avoid it depending on the requirement. So right now I'm just using form extractor. Later I'm going to show you how to use the machine learning extractor. Both the things I will show you, but at the moment I'm going to use only form extractor. So here I have drag and drop the form extractor. After that, your third step would be manage template. Clear? Now in the manage template, what should I do? So simply click on create template. Okay. Now for what I am going to create a template and why I am creating a template, I am going to show you. So here I am dealing with receipts. So I will select receipts, and every receipt, if you see, it could be from various vendors or for various purpose, right? So you will have one type of a receipt coming from a specific vendor, another type of receipt coming from another vendor. So for each vendor, for example, this is one vendor which is going to send me this kind of a receipt. Other vendor will send a different kind of a receipt, possible, right? That's where in this particular option I am creating a template. So for each vendor you are creating a template. I am dealing with receipt, but again there could be various vendors who will be sending various kind of receipts, various vendors who will be sending various kind of invoices. Okay, so that's why I am creating a template for each vendor, because each vendor style will be different, right? So here, for example, I'll give ExpoHub channel name, ExpoHub receipts. Okay, for demonstration purpose. And here you have to provide a sample of any sample. Let's say you have got 5-10 samples. Provide only one sample so that it understands how it looks. Okay, so you provide any one sample, doesn't matter. So let's say you have got multiple invoices. I'm going to show you for the invoice also. Okay, now I'm dealing with only receipt, so I've given it a sample. And here, because it's a image, I have to use the omni-page OCR. Okay, and leave everything as it is. Okay, leave everything as it is. I'm going to talk about force apply OCR while I'm using the invoice, PDF invoice. But for the moment, simply select omni-page OCR and click on configure. Now why I'm using an OCR engine? Because it's an image. It has to extract using an OCR engine, correct? So click on configure. Okay, it's going to digitize the document using the omni-page OCR. So give it a minute so that, okay. So once this is done, you will be brought to template manager, and this is the instruction on how to use the template manager. I'm going to show you live. Okay. So this is the instruction. So let me show you what you have to do. Now the very first thing, your receipt may have multiple pages or your invoice may have multiple pages. Depends, right? So for a receipt, generally it will be one page. Generally, but what you have to do, the first option, once you open the template manager, be very careful about this. So once you open this template manager, the first thing it is asking you how I should detect that this is a bill, or how I should detect that this is a receipt. So how do I detect it? So for that you have to manually provide. So what you do, simply just once you come to this page, don't do anything, simply click on couple of items which are indicators of that receipt. So let's say I'm going to select bill. Okay, and now hit on control key, because you have to select at least 5 elements so that it determines. So first I have selected bill, hit on the control key, go very slow, then I'm selecting bill, then date, then user, then party, then name. So I'm selecting couple of elements from that receipt. Okay, the moment you, at least minimum 5 elements it requires. As a rule, it requires minimum 5 elements. So more than that also you can select. So I have selected all the 5 elements or 6 elements. Now I'm going to click on the plus sign. So the moment you do, you can see bill date, user, party, name, everything has come. So it will automatically detect, okay, if this kind of a thing I find in any kind of a receipt, that means this is for this particular receipt. So it understands. So you are giving an indication. Clear how I did? So let me show you, because this is the place where you will not be able to, you will have difficulty. So click on configure. Once you have selected everything, click on configure. Okay, then the template manager page will open. Okay, the moment it opens, click on OK on this instruction, and the very first thing you do is hit on one of the item, and then sometime you will have the vendor name also here, right? So you can select those kind of items, then hit on control and select at least 5 items. Okay, unique items, so which is there in all the, so I have selected all the 5 items. The moment you select, leave the control key and click on the plus sign. Okay, this should be pretty clear how to do it. Okay, now the next thing comes the bill number. Now for the bill number, bill amount, these are the 2 fields I want to extract from the receipt. Okay, bill number and bill amount, these are the 2 items I want to extract. Now for this, what you do, on the top of the page there is something called selection mode. Click on the selection mode and click on custom area. Click on the selection mode and click on custom area. Okay, done. Once you do this step, then what you do, highlight the place what you want to extract. So I want the bill number, right? I want the bill number. So I'm going to, this is the area. So left click on your mouse and select the area. So that red symbol is coming, don't leave it there. Select the area, then leave your mouse. Okay, so once you do this, this plus sign got activated, and this is for the bill number. So I'm going to click on the plus sign over here. Okay, so you can see bill number, there is anchor also been placed automatically, and it is also custom selection. So it has highlighted, this is the data, whatever is there in this area, it is going to point out. So you have to be very careful about your selection area. Okay, if it is not accurate, you can always change it. Let me show you the bill amount. For bill amount, again, what should I do? Again, highlight, go to that area and left click on your mouse, and highlight this specific area and leave the mouse. Then click on the plus sign. So now you can see the custom selection has come for this area. Is it clear? Bill amount has been automatically, as there is anchor created automatically. So it will all happen automatically. Is that how you are selecting? You need to be pretty clear. Done. Then click on save. So that means now this template understood, if that kind of a receipt is given to me, okay, it is going to use the specific template created for this one and is going to work. It is going to pull out those specific data. So close. Now once you do all these things, don't select anything, because the selection is for delete and export. Don't do anything, simply click on close. Done. Once you do it, click on configure extractors. Click on configure extractors, maximize this page, and here I am working on invoices, receipts, right? So here I will select form extractor for the receipt, bill amount for the receipt. Okay, and there is a possibility you can also use a form extractor, you can also use a regex based extractor, you can also use a machine learning extractor. All these extractions will come on this particular window. I'm going to show all of you, all of those options one by one, but right now I'm just using the form extractor. So put a checkbox to all these 2 fields. So it is going to use form extractor to extract these 2 fields. That is the meaning. So click on save. Okay, done. So once you do it, you want to see the data, right? So you want to see the data, how the data has been extracted. Now to see the data, what you do, again type document, and from the document, once you type, you will find something called present validation station. So I want to validate the data. Once it is extract, I want to validate the data, which is our fifth step. Okay, so present validation station, you have to use this activity drag and drop, and here also quickly start mentioning all the variables. Okay, taxonomy. So these are all individual entities, so I have to keep on declaring the variables time and again for all the scopes that I'm using, all the activities that I'm using. Okay, now automatic extraction results, where would you like to? So automatic extraction results, where it is getting saved in the previous data extraction scope, it is getting saved in extraction result. Okay, all I need to do is simply mention that variable here. Done. Now output, the output of validation, where would you like to store? I want to store in another variable called validate extracted result. So create all the variables, Ctrl+K, and create it. I have already created, so I'm simply using it. Okay, so this has been created. Now what you do, so you need to remember what is the document I have mentioned over here. I have mentioned the receipt. I'm just using one document over here. As we progress, I'm going to show you how you can use all the documents at a time and process everything. So I'm going to show you, that is the little advanced. Right now, simply use one document and continue your experiment. So this is done. So I'm using only a receipt one document, and let's debug it. Okay, let's run it, and I'm going to show you. Okay, now load taxonomy is completed, digitized document is completed. Okay, it is using OmniPage OCR, it got highlighted. Okay, because it is a receipt, right? After this we will be using the invoice also. Okay, done. Then classification document done. Now the output has come. This is a receipt, so it is understood it is a receipt. Okay, it is coming because of the message box. Now it is extracting the data using the form extractor, and now it is going to show you a validation manager page. So you can see, because I have used the present validation activity, it is going to open something called Uipath validation station. Okay, validation station. So this is where I need to validate is all my data is correct. So it is saying 74 confidence score, that means 74 accurate it is. So I am fine with this. Bill number is 100% accurate, so I am fine with this. So you have to, as a human being, you have to validate. If you are okay with the data, what is it? It is automatically pulling. Bill amount 90, so I am also very happy with this particular confidence score. Okay, even though it is 70-80% also, that is also good to go, but it's up to you to validate and see. So I am good to go. So the moment you select check, it is becoming 100% automatically. If it is something else, it will become 100%. So I'm going to click on save. Okay, so you can see it has extracted the data from the receipt, and you saw the output, and you are happy with the extracted output. Right now, let's change the path. Let's say, let me going to apply this to an invoice. So I'm going to use this invoice path, shift right click and copy as path. Shift right click, copy as path. Now let's go to the variable. So all these experiments you must do, okay, otherwise you will not understand. So you must do all this exercise how one by one I am doing. Now in the document path, what I will do, I'll simply remove whatever was there. I'm going to Control V, paste it. Okay, now the invoice has come instead of the receipt. Fine. Now because invoice has come, what you are missing, you have to create a template for the invoice. You have created a template for receipt. Now click on manage templates. Okay, now create template, and for what you want to create a template? For the invoice, and give a name. So let me open one of these invoice so that you can have a look how it is appearing. So all these links, I have given a link in the very first video where I had given a link to download all this. In case you do not have, you can always use them, or else if you have, you can go with them. So now this is the invoice, how it looks like. Okay, so this is the invoice. Now what I'm going to do, in the template manager, let's go back. Okay, here I'm going to say ExpoHub invoice. Give it a name of the vendor, whichever the vendor is. Now give it a sample file. So let's say I have got 4 documents. Any sample file you can give. Okay, I'm selecting a different one. So it doesn't matter which sample file you give. One sample file, but it should be of the same nature, from the same vendor, of the same type. Okay, that should be clear. Alright, so here I have been using Omni OCR, so I'll go with Omni Page OCR. Now I was talking about force apply OCR. What is this force apply OCR? If you highlight this, it talks about when this option is checked, OCR will be performed on all pages of the input document, even if they are native PDF text pages. So native PDF means it is a digital document already. So do you need to use OCR? You don't have to, right? It is a digital document already. So in case you wanted to, you can go for force apply, but because it's already a digital document, you don't have to literally go for this option. Okay, so if you need, you can always try this. So now click on configure. This all is more about experiment. Okay, so here I have clicked on configure. So it has digitized the document, and the sample document I have provided, it has appeared. Now the same thing I have to do it the moment it opens up. The very first thing I should do is click on one of the item. So I'm clicking on the vendor name, hit on the control key and start selecting few more items. Minimum 5 unique items which defines the vendor, right? From which vendor this is coming. So I have selected some couple of items and click on plus sign. Done. Now let's see for the invoice number. For invoice number, what did I tell you? Click on this selection mode, click on custom area, and you have to be pretty careful about doing this selection. Okay, so I've selected this and click on the plus sign. So I'm telling this is the invoice number and the anchor is automatically created. Okay, now build to date. For build to date is this is the place, right? Again, what you do, click on custom area. Alright, and keep your mouse left click and select the specific place. It could be, the name could be slightly longer, so I'm just selecting the specific area. Now once it is done, I am going to click on the plus sign. So it understand build to date, it should pull from here. Now the third one, amount due. So for the amount due, again click on custom area. So you can see, always you can see in the validation station if it is coming properly or not, if the right data is pulled or not. Okay, so I have selected this and clicked on the plus sign. You have to click on the plus sign. So now everything is got selected, everything is fine. Now click on save. Now once this is done, as I said, you don't have to do anything. So you have created 2 templates. One is for the ExpoHub vendor invoice and the other one is ExpoHub receipts. So for both of this you have created, click on close. So you can create multiple. So it will automatically understand which one to pick. Alright, now click on configure extractor once again. Maximize this, and here you have to deal with invoices. So ensure you have selected all the options, invoice number. So it is going to use to pull all the data for all these fields. It has to pull from the using form extractor. That is the meaning. Okay, so these are the fields created in the taxonomy. So this is clear. Now click on save. Done. So you are done. Now let's see if how our data is coming when I'm applying a invoice. So in our document path, we have already given the invoice. If I'm highlighting, you can see it's an invoice. Okay, and it's 104 invoice. Okay, so let's see that. Let's run it. Let's see if it is pulling all this data. Joydeep, invoice number 780. Let's see. Okay, so what happened here? Now it is telling it is an invoice. Last time it was saying it was a receipt. Okay, so it is automatically classifying the document. So once the classification is done, it will come to data extraction. It will extract and then it will show me the validation station. Okay, the page has come. Now you can see the confidence score for this one is 67, but I'm fine with this. Bill number 104, it has captured the entire bill number, which I am fine with this. So I'll select, even though confidence score is 94, but I'm fine with this, right? Bill to date, Joydeep, so it has pulled the entire data properly, so I'm fine with this. Amount due 48,780, which is also has come properly, so I'm fine with this, right? So I'm fine with all of it. Now let's click on save. Alright, so now you have seen how using form extractor we have pulled the data. Similar way, I am going to talk about machine extractor, okay, in the upcoming video, because this video is going to be very long if I continue. So I am going to show that how to use the machine extractor. Simply type extractor. Okay, I'm going to use the machine learning extractor in the next video. I'm going to demonstrate how it works. Okay, so thank you for watching this. Please continue to watch and experiment all the things that I'm doing in the videos. Please do exercises. I mean, you have to do it. You have to have a hands-on experience whatever I am doing. Okay, you got the concepts, you understood how it is working, but doing is very, very important. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about machine learning extractor, guys. So thank you so much for watching this. Continue with ExpoHub channel and do subscribe in case you have not done it. Please do like all our videos. Please do let know your friends to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much with all your support. We'll meet again in our next video. Bye bye.